I put this in because it was quite interesting in terms of a lot of the interviews I did. So I've done a whole load of interviews around founders that started their firm, grew it and sold it. And I never thought about barriers of entry existing in consultancy because, you know, to be a consultant, you just put your hand up and say, I'm a consultant. It was interesting that some of them did talk about barriers of entry. They mentioned 4 things. One is doing something that was hard. So there was one firm that, you know, specialized in sort of, you know, management advice on concrete in sort of engineering supply chain usage. And they were saying their argument was that, you know, if you're doing advice on marketing ice cream, anyone and their dog can do that. But if you're doing what we do, it's pretty unique. Now, again, going back to Martin's point, I'm not sure that holds because I'm sure that people that do branding for ice cream possibly get paid a lot more than he was getting paid, but he seemed to enjoy the work. The other barrier of entry is creating intellectual property. And by that, I specifically mean branded package solutions. We'll talk more about that later. Client relationship management. So if you're a buyer, you're constantly getting, you know, emails, calls, attention from other people. If you manage that account well, if you keep the relationship going, if you send them content that's useful to them, it's going to allow you to occupy more of their headspace, which means there's less space for competitors to get in and nudge you out the way. And finally, something that we'll get onto when Martin has his section, which is really the digital communication of your expertise. So it's one thing to be an expert, to dominate a niche, but it's another thing to communicate that well. And the two aren't necessarily the same, as we'll see in future sessions.